Close your eyes and see yourself in 30 years. 30 years of secrets were upheld, detention cells persisted, and a kingdom built on the blood and tears of a woman known as the Ghetto Wonder Lady. But today the steel finally cracked. Tiny Harris isn't just crying. A betrayal that has chilled Atlanta to its core is drowning her. They say loyalty is a kingdom, but T. Yes, I am. Didn't just leave the palace. He lit it on fire while his queen was still inside. How do you look into the eyes of the man you saved from the shadows? Only to find out that the woman ruining your life is now being protected by him. It's more than just a secret relationship or a hidden child these days. This is a slaughter of souls. Shekinah has destroyed more than a friendship. The sickness music of truth that Harris has unleashed is turning her legacy into a terrible tragedy. When the cries of sick victims transform into the whispers of freaks, the reality becomes more unsettling than any nightmare. The same woman who sat at Tiny's table and shared her bread and secrets is allegedly carving off a piece of the empire for an unborn music heir. The mother of his children is alone in the torrent of public humiliation. I am the T. It was a choice to keep quiet. For protecting the invader, he received a death sentence. Tonight, we are seeing more than just a failing marriage. Music, the public execution of 30 years of love. Grab some Kleenex because the Harris dynasty is here to stay. It's being buried alive. Every great man is supposed to have had a mute wife who bled to maintain the stability of his rule. For 30 years, Tiny Harris was that lady. She was not only a wife. She created the Harris legacy. People called her the Ghetto Wonder Woman, a nickname derived from the injuries she sustained in 1,000 covert battles. T didn't waver when the prison gates banged behind her. I am. She remained steadfast in the face of courtroom drama that would have crushed a lesser soul. Additionally, she shielded her children from the damaging fallout from many scandals. But now, the world is seeing something we could never have predicted. The total, agonizing collapse of a woman who is unable to sustain the sky. Even the strongest metal fractures when the heat of betrayal becomes unbearable, but Tiny Harris has always been the family's pillar of support. Look closely at the most recent video if you can stand it. The current woman embodies the essence of Atlanta's queen. There's no longer the confident, sharp smile that could take up a room. It is replaced with trembling hands that can barely hold a phone and swollen eyes that seem to hide a lifetime of sadness from sobbing all night long. This is more than just a challenging period in the marriage of a well-known couple. This is the sound of a soul splitting in two. This is a visual representation of 30 years of commitment being thrown on the streets like worthless trash. Tiny Harris regrets being drawn into the hurricane. She didn't look for confrontation. She didn't provoke controversy to increase her power. She was just living the life she had worked so hard to create, only to be caught off guard by a dagger held by the two people she trusted most in the world. Imagine the psychological warfare of standing in your own home surrounded by family photos and gold records and discovering that your husband, music, the guy you have repeatedly saved from the abyss, has chosen to stand up for the same woman who is deliberately ruining your life. Music. Shekinah's betrayal is a certain kind of poison. This wasn't a stranger from a fan on the internet who wanted to become well known. It was a sister. Music. This woman sat in Tiny's kitchen on the hardest nights of her life, listening to her deepest fears, laughing with 1111 her, and wiping away her tears. The idea that the same woman would allegedly get into your bed, steal your husband's child, and then behave with the cold authority of an expectant queen is absurd. Because of a parasitic shift, a long-standing friendship has turned into a warning about why you should occasionally fear your friends more than your enemies. Shekinah's actions are devastating, yet they pale in comparison to the ultimatum Music T. Yes, I am. Purportedly delivered. This moment is causing fans all around the world to cry. Tiny reportedly didn't scream in private. She whispered. She pleaded for the purity of their history, for the sake of their children, and for the decades of secrets she had dedicated her life to guarding. And the response? Music. Shekinah is defended calmly. The T. Yes, I am. Didn't just choose a different woman. He allegedly exploited Tiny's past against her. When the person you love claims that your previous mistakes and struggles somehow justify his current betrayal, it is the ultimate kind of gaslighting. It is the spiritual erasing of an individual. Every sacrifice Tiny made, every time she went to a jail visiting room, every night she begged for his return, and every public defense she offered when the world tried to cancel him were all given back to her like a weapon. A deep, overpowering melancholy has replaced the shock. We are seeing the exclusion of a woman from her own story in real time. Others close to her claim that she feels like a ghost in her own house. The empire for which she gave her life is being rebuilt. While legal documents are being prepared for an intruder, the foundation of her dignity is being traded for a new narrative. The children are now caught in the crossfire of this emotional carnage, which was once the pride of the Harris clan. Imagine the weight on their emotions as they watch their mother crumble as their father constructs a nursery for a child born of betrayal. There are more than just rumors. The peace of a family is being violated in public. Music Tiny is reportedly struggling to keep them safe, but how can you shield someone from a cyclone that has already demolished the roof of your home? For a woman who gave her everything and got nothing in return, every picture of a dazzling Shekinah, every hurtful comment, and every popular meme is a fresh pain. It is an intense heartache. A human tragedy occurs under the harshest, brightest spotlights of the digital age. Tiny Harris stands on the edge of a cliff and looks back over 30 years of memories that have suddenly been reduced to ashes music. Due to a betrayal that turned her own palace into a weeping prison rather than a rival, Atlanta's queen is losing her kingdom. And the stillness of her suffering is louder than any cry while the world looks on. Music The air in Atlanta is cold due to the stench of secrets that were never meant to be disclosed. If Into the Part was about a broken heart, then Into the Part is about a poisoned legacy. T is the name on everyone's trembling lips, and the whispers have finally become a deafening roar. Yes, I am. Thought he had buried the freaks deep under his kingdom's foundation. But this isn't just about lavish parties and celebrity excess anymore. Because this is about such a horrible human catastrophe, fans and families are immobilized in a state of mute horror. Shekinah has come out of the shadows carrying something. Her declaration has shocked the hip-hop community. She claims to have the names and identities of every woman at these infamous occasions who was allegedly afflicted music. Think about the meaning of the word infected. It conveys the sorrow of betrayal and the taint of music irrevocable harm. There are more than just rumors. It's a moral earthquake. Tiny is no longer the only one affected by the catastrophe. It belongs to all the ladies who went inside those rooms hoping 2222 to find a dream but ended up with an inevitable nightmare. Music The atmosphere on the internet is oppressive. In the hopes that a name they love won't appear in this sea of trash, families are discreetly scrolling through feeds as their hearts race. Every deleted video, cryptic statement, and social media post feels like a ticking time bomb these days. 50 Cent's earlier allusions, which were previously written off as mere trolling, now have a dark new meaning. His comments weren't amusing. They were warnings. Music They were the shadows of a storm that has now reached land, mercilessly destroying reputations and lives. In the midst of this hurricane, Shekinah is carrying the torch. Why now? Is it equitable? Or is it the last act of a woman who has decided that if she is not given the throne, she will burn down the entire nation? Shekinah is no longer the joking sidekick in the kitchen. Now, she is the architect of a public execution. Every name she mentions and every receipt she brings up is like a drop of acid on the Harris legacy. She is revealing a part of the inner circle that was meant to be protected by blood vows and million-dollar non-disclosure agreements. But those records are now on fire, exposing the bleeding, unadulterated truth. The supporters' devastation is evident. How can the music, inspiration, and King of the South music image be reconciled with the image of a man purportedly responsible for such devastation? One facet of the betrayal is marriage. It is a cultural treachery. Trust has been shattered into a million little pieces. Peeling back the layers, Shekinah exposes the weakness of stardom. Behind the diamonds and the private jets, there was allegedly a cycle of vulnerability and misery that is now being revealed to the world. The claim that T. Yes, I am. Tiny's anguish was just the start. The stakes have now risen to an unbearable level of psychological warfare. Music. The women who are allegedly involved, whose identities are being whispered in murky internet spaces, are facing a torrent of worry and condemnation. Their lives are being examined via a digital microscope. Their most intimate traumas amuse the world. Music. It's really gloomy. The tremendous weight of someone's genuine pain in this calamity that is happening in real time increases with each like and share. Every time Shekinah speaks, it seems like a sword twisting in an open wound. Music. She claims to know who was there, who was hurt, and who is paying the price. A horrible weapon is suggestion. By hiding facts, she is inflicting mental distress for the entire company. People are examining red carpet video, going over previous interviews, and looking for signs of suffering in the eyes of their beloved celebs. The exciting suspense has vanished. It is really painful. It is the sound of a legacy striving to breathe while drowning in its own secrets. There is complete disaster. Not only is the Harris empire collapsing, but it is being dismantled piece by piece and covertly. As we wait for the next disclosure, we continue to worry about how many more souls will be caught in the aftermath. How many more hearts will break until the truth is finally realized? While the world is in tears and the families are trembling, the Queen stands amid the wreckage and watches the man she loves protect the woman holding the match. Everything is filled with the stench of betrayal music, and an era is coming to an end. As the freak-off controversies get more intense, we have to ask ourselves, who is really holding the match? Behind the cries of betrayal and the tears of a broken queen, there are silent players moving in the shadows, music preparing, watching, and waiting for the perfect moment to give the final blow. Music. There is more to the Harris family's grief than just a marital dispute. In this high-stakes game of chess, the pieces are actual people, and the board is the whole Atlanta city. The mastermind of this chaos right now is 50 Cent, who has made a career out. Now, however, examine more closely. Every hint he provided us with was a breadcrumb that led us to this precise location of devastation. Music. Now his stillness is louder than his loudest post. It's the unsettling silence of a man who knows the recording has been made public, the receipts are real, and the conclusion is inevitable. He acts as the machine's ghost, ensuring that everyone is aware of Tiny's sorrow and Shekinah's brutality. The psychological toll of knowing that your greatest adversary is preventing your breakdown is probably something I never anticipated. While the giants play their games, a far darker and more sad tragedy is occurring behind the sealed doors of the Harris residence. The children. The walls are collapsing in real time for the descendants of an empire that was supposed to be their fortress. Imagine being raised in that household and seeing your mother, who made the world for you, turn into a shadow of her former self as your father allegedly prepares to begin a new life with the same lady who shattered your peace. The reports are unsettling. Tiny is reportedly making an unsuccessful effort to shield her children from the radioactive allegations. But in 2026, there isn't a strong enough protection. They can see the viral memes. They can hear the whispers in their social groups. They read in the news that Shekinah was expecting their father's child, a new music airborne of a betrayal that destroyed their mother. This is not only a historical dispute. This encounter is marking the souls of the innocent. Every glowing photo of Shekinah and every audacious statement from T.I. causes new pain in the hearts of children who once believed their family was untouchable. The boldness of the transition has crippled the world with anguish. Music. It's astonishing that Shekinah, who sat at the kids' Thanksgiving table and was a trusted aunt figure, is now reportedly plotting to get a long-term role in the family's business ventures. New legal structures, trust funds, and restructured estates are appearing out of the shadows like monsters. It is a parasitic takeover. Tiny Harris is giving up the very legacy she battled for, the empire she stood up for while incarcerated and in court. The once valued devotion of the Harris home has been totally diminished and replaced with a cold, calculated transaction where the invader has all the power. It's oppressively tense. While 50 Cent continues to plan from the shadows and Shekinah moves with the unsettling confidence of someone who has already won, the world watches Tiny. As we see her hidden behind dark glasses, her physique is becoming weaker every day. She is a woman who is going through a hurricane without a place to stay. Every time she attempts to demand answers, she is allegedly given a last ultimatum, a reminder that the world goes on even if her heart has stopped. It's a total disaster. In public, 30 years of trust are being carried out. Looking at the heirs does not reveal a dynasty's future. A shipwreck survivors are seen. The Harris family we once knew has been replaced with a viral tragedy that serves as a scary cautionary narrative. Sometimes you are willing to take a bullet for the person pulling the pistol. The repercussions are worse, darker, and more dire than anyone could have imagined. It's already here, not just on the horizon. Inhale deeply and look at the ruins of our recent 30-year past. This is not your typical celebrity headline. This serves as a visceral, unsettling reminder of how fragile loyalty truly is when faced with deliberate, heartless betrayal. We have seen Tiny Harris devote all of her blood, sweat, and soul to a business, only to be hurled into a maelstrom of public humiliation by the man she 44 protected from every court case, every prison term, and every scandal that threatened to drown them. You are now in charge. At LH, we are more than just spectators. The truth is both proclaimed and upheld in our community.